All right, welcome back to the Planet Paintball podcast, brought to you by 1023 Sportswear and Southwest Paintball in Bayfield, Colorado. Go say hi to John and the boys out there, because season is in full swing. All right, I got Bella with the High Rollers with me tonight. How you doing, Bella?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Doing good. So, how was playing in the stadium?
Oh my God. It was awesome. I mean, it was like a experience that you definitely it's a once in a lifetime experience for sure. I know that there'll be probably more stadiums in the future, but being the first, like one of the first, especially like, they included the WNXL, which I thought was super awesome. It was unbelievable, especially at nighttime. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, the nighttime photos really made it look like, oh, this is something now.
Yeah, it looked serious, though. I know our photos came out, they came out unbelievable. And then, yeah, the crowd in the back, it was unbelievable.
Nice. Well, let's jump into it. How did we find paintball?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I get asked this so many times. Crazy thing is my family was really big into paintball. My dad, my brother, my uncles, my cousins, like just recreational. My cousins grew up at the field up in New York, and they would just play and play and play every weekend, and I was significantly younger than them. So I wasn't technically even old enough to play. I was about like 8 or 9. Yeah, so I we're
All
back.
right, we're back.
So yeah, I get asked that question all the time. My family was pretty big into paintball. My brother, my dad, my cousins, my uncles, they were very big into just recreational playing in the woods. They were out every weekend. I was significantly younger than them. So I always wanted to join because, it looked so cool. They looked so cool. They were having so much fun. I wasn't even really old enough technically to play. Pete from Liberty, if you're hearing this, don't listen. But they would write on the form that I was like 12 and I was about like 8. And oh my gosh, there's definitely some PTSD back there from playing rec ball in I would say probably about like 2007. It was
Uh,
big. So yeah, definitely how I got into just paintball in general.
okay. So when did the competition side heat up for you?
Oh gosh, so competition side, that tournament paintball side kind of heated up for me a couple years ago, like 5 or 6 years ago. I was training horses for about 20 years, and I finally decided to leave that, and I was done.
All right. So we were talking about how you got into competition paintball.
Yes, yes. Um, about I would say 5 or 6 years ago, I was training horses for many, many years, and I decided to finally leave. I wanted to pursue my passion in veterinary medicine. So I went that route. And in my lull of um, leaving horses and going into veterinary medicine, I was like, you know what? I haven't played paintball in a while. And I texted my brother and I was like, "Do you wanna go play some paintball?" And he was like, "Absolutely, I thought you never asked." So we went up to the field, my family came up, it was a whole family affair as always, and I just got the bug again. So I was back in the woods, back in, the, rec ball, and there was a couple people that were up there who played tournament paintball. And, they were explaining it to me and I was like, what do you even mean? How does this even work? They were talking about like how many points you can score. And I was like, what are you
Mhm.
talking about? And I started just watching some videos to get more information. And I was like, oh my God, like this is what I want to do. Like this is that next step in, paintball. This what makes this game, really part of your life. um, yeah, I couple my friends, we decided we're like, we're gonna go, let's start a team. And
Okay.
we started a team and it was kind of it from there. So
Nice.
yeah.
So what was that first team's name?
Oh my gosh, New York Rage.
Okay,
We were
not as bad as some others, right? Like that's
um
a decent one.
yeah, if you saw the group chat conversation of 8 boys and a girl trying to come up with a team name, it was I was like, "You know what? This is what we're going with, guys." Yeah, so New York Rage, we played, We went right into D4. They didn't even give me a chance in D5. They were like, "Well, you're going
Okay.
right into D4." And yeah, we just went from there.
Nice. So when did the WNXL kind of come a-calling for you?
So I did have some serious FOMO when they did do that consolation match with the WNXL. They were kind of just releasing that, and I was looking at it and I was trying to kind of figure out I wasn't so into it because I really was like, I want to play with my friends. I, want to kind of do my thing. The guys never say I can't play with them. And I had a different look on it. So that was probably about my second year into playing tournament paintball. Ali Balmores reached out to me through one of our friends and was having a tryout. This was I believe, the second season of WNXL 2023.
Okay.
And she said, hey, I just, I'm starting a team. I'd love for you to come down. And I was like, no, no. Like in my head, I was just like, I don't know, because, I want to definitely still play with my friends. I want to play with the guys. And, I had this outlook on it, like, is WNXL for the girls who aren't able to play with the guys or aren't welcome to play with the guys? I had just had this really negative kind of outlook on it. And I was talked into going down. I was like, a couple of my friends were like, you definitely got to go. Allie was so kind, and I showed up and I was greeted by Frank Connell at tryouts. And I had an awesome, awesome weekend just with the girls. And I got a new kind of outlook on it that, it's not because we can't play with the boys or we're not welcome to play with the boys. It's more I could see girls getting into paintball. It's definitely a more welcoming environment when you're playing against girls. Now, you can have the girls that play, D2 semi-pro, D3 that are really, really good, but something just about playing with a girl or against a girl for your first time is definitely welcoming. That's definitely when I was like, you know what? I want to be a part of this. Yeah, so I came down because is she's Allie. She gets anyone she wants to do whatever she wants. Um, so I came down and I was greeted by Frank Connell, and I was like, wow, okay, like this is serious. Frank is serious all the time. And I really got a taste of what Allie was building. I had a phenomenal tryout. It was like, at the time, I felt like it was like one of the best paintball weekends I ever had. I got like a 5-pack in tryouts in the snake, and I don't even play the
Nice.
snake. And, I remember Frank kind of pulled me aside and was like, I'm going to be the first to tell you this. Like, you are going to be great. And you just have to keep doing what you're doing and absorb and be a sponge and stick with it, and you will be great. And not great yet, but I'm getting there. Yeah, so 2023 was definitely a big year for me, joining the high rollers and getting that call and, you know, developing really something special with the high rollers.
So being from New York, had you known Frank Connell prior to the high rollers?
No, I didn't know Frank
Okay.
Connell at all. No. Had no idea who he was. I was like, "Who is this guy yelling at me?" Frank yells a lot.
Yeah. He's got a
Frank
rep.
Yeah, Frank yells a lot. Yeah, that was a experience for me for sure. One I can appreciate though, but did not know Frank.
Okay. So that was 2023, right?
Correct.
Okay. All right. So take us through was 2023 the flagship season for the high rollers, or had they been
So yeah,
established
that was
already?
the flagship season for the high rollers. Ali played WNXL. She played like with the Femmes. She played with Team USA. So she was known, and high rollers became her own team. And that was the first season for high rollers. We did Sunshine State, Chicago, and World Cup.
And how was that first year with a
Oh my
brand
god,
new
it
team?
was it was amazing. It was chase that experience, showing up to that first event with, high rollers. NXL's doing headshots and videos, and they've got smoke and lights, and we're like in the back tent behind the pro field, and just stepping onto the lone wolf field for the first time, being only like a year and a half into tournament paintball, and having the cameras all in your face, and it's live streamed, and there's people all around. That first event was absolutely wild, and the rest of the season was, there was a lot of ups and downs of, a new team, a lot of growing pains, of a new team. But I mean, it made us so close. I mean, if you look at the team from 2023 to now, it is almost a completely different team. Myself and Allie are really the only ones that are still here from that first event. And we have Christina Starr, who joined us in Chicago, but it is pretty much a brand new team. And to watch it go through all the growing pains it has, that first year was pretty special.
Nice. So let's talk about Tampa just a little bit as a whole. Not the first time you guys have been in a hunt, right? You're definitely getting way more consistent. We haven't got the win yet, though, right?
No, we have not. We have not.
A couple
Yep.
second places.
We have 3.
Right?
This was our
Okay.
second place. Yep. In the first event. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I thought. I wasn't
Yes.
quite sure, though.
Yes. So we have officially played all top 4 teams in the WNXL in finals. We played
Mhm.
Vibe, Femmes, and Heroines, all of them. We've played them all in semifinals, and we've played them now officially all in finals.
So what do you think is going to take to hit that next step with the girls?
I mean, if you look at this first event for Tampa, a little insider scoop. We had one major injury. Sobi Glass was coming back off of major knee surgery. She's still in contraption on her leg, so she didn't really even practice all season. We had 2 new pickups, 2 girls that haven't played in, I would say I think it's about 7 years, 9 to 7 years. They haven't played, I think 7 years. And one of them lives out in Oklahoma, Caitlin Woodward. So we don't get to see her that much, which is, understandable. And then we have Amanda Stetzer, who I think maybe a month before Tampa was like, yep, I'm going to play.
Okay.
We had 2 girls leave. So, once again, we're kind of almost, a brand new team again. And to kind of be able to grind it out through prelims, come in completely bottom seed into Sunday and beat 2 teams that went 4-0 and, be able to piece it together. I think, just some more time together, in these different situations, I think will definitely get us to that next step.
Can you kind of take us through like leadership of the team and the players of the team? I got pulled up so I can help you.
Yeah, well, I'll start at the top. Allie, owner of the team, owner, captain, coordinator, manager. She does it absolutely all. We have, let me see, we have Carly Calamesta, who I think her husband maybe has been on here, Don. They own Filthy. Yep,
Yep,
they own
Don.
Filthy. They also own Quickshot. Carly she's a missile. I love that girl. She is the most humblest and, just one of the best teammates to really have. She will go, if you tell Carly go to the 50 Snakes, she's like, all right, I'm going. She's awesome. She's really awesome. And she's freshly new into tournament paintball at all. And to see her be, nominated for Rookie of the Year and, be on these stages and, we've been on finals twice together. It's awesome. Definitely happy for her as well. Then we have, we have Amanda Stetzer. Amanda Stetzer, she's the GOAT of WNXL. She's come back. I'm excited for her to knock the rust off. Caitlin Woodward. Caitlin Woodward is from out in Oklahoma. She was another 2019 Team USA player. She's awesome. She's been playing out there. We have Christina Starr, who was West Virginia, but she has officially moved closer. So who else do we have? We picked up Alexis, one of our amateur girls from last year. She's played amateur with us. She has actually been with High Rollers since season 1. We didn't pick her up at first. She's super young, super fresh. She was, we wanted to let her kind of get her feet underneath her and gain experience. And then this season we decided to bring her on and she played great. And we have Sobi Glass coming off her injury. Yeah, and then me.
Yep,
That's
all of them.
That's all. I know my girls. I'm like, it's gotten a little thin. 2024, we had about, I think, 10. We were stacked with 10, and yeah.
Well, sometimes thinning of the herd's good for it.
Yes. Yes, I realized that this season thinning was good.
Oh, you mentioned amateur line. So are you guys still maintaining an amateur line
Yes.
for the high
Yes,
rollers?
so we are still maintaining our
Okay.
amateur line. We do have a bunch of local girls out here in Jersey, PA, Jersey area that, we definitely want to keep them with us and, help build them up, help get them experience and kind of mold them into, future high rollers, future WNXL high rollers. A lot of them, or a good, I would say most of them are kind of right there. They're just so young. They're just so young that we wanna
Yeah.
let them, have fun, play down while you can, and then yeah. So we are
Hmm.
still doing the amateur line.
Okay. And are they playing at the like NXL
Mhm.
events when they have the amateur division, or are they playing like somewhere
Yep.
locally,
Our
or both?
I believe they're gonna do both. I know this season kinda just got started. We haven't so much figured out our local stuff yet, but they are doing all, I believe, 4 out of 5 events. I'm not sure if they're gonna go to Texas. That might be talks. I know Texas is a big trip for us. It's about like a 5-hour or 4-hour flight for us. So they are gonna be playing Dover in like 2 weeks, which is exciting for them because we are
Hmm.
not playing the girls, WNXL is not playing Dover. So most of us are gonna go out there and, cheer them on and help them, and I know they'll be excited for that.
Okay. So are you playing Dover, or are you just going out and going to
I
support?
am playing Dover. Am playing Dover.
Okay.
Rob from Enemy had, messaged me or went through Stevie to me to
Hmm.
ask me if I wanted to play with Enemy of the State at Dover. And I've been out there for, the past couple of months with them as they were getting back into the season, practicing with them and stuff. Yeah, I am playing with Enemy of the State for Dover.
Cool. So do you in the recent years, because the WNXL does 3 events instead of the 5, have you like maintained a other team or guessed it with other teams, or is that kind of new?
So 2024, I played with Superfast. Now they're an old
Okay.
name. They kind of came back. I played with Superfast. I did that for Cup 2024. And then I was doing a lot of locals. The high rollers actually, we have a boys line that does a bunch of locals. So a lot of times
Hmm.
Allie would have some of the girls, jump on the boys line depending on what division they were doing. And I would be playing kind of back and forth with them. My first year, I was splitting my time pretty consistently with a team called Havoc up at out of Matt's Outback Paintball that Keith DeVitt was actually coaching. So I was doing a bunch of locals with them, and then still with our New York Rage guys. But yeah, then 2024, I played with Superfast. And then last year, I kind of really wanted to commit my time to the girls. Yeah. So last year, I kind of took a break a little bit from divisional, but this season, I'm definitely back,
Hmm.
back into it. I need to be.
Nice. Describe the like high rollers state of mind for play. What is the overall? Are you attacking team? Are
Oh,
you
Lordy.
uh,
Hunter, you don't know
a
high
second
rollers
hit team?
paintball.
What are you?
So
Well, I want to
yeah,
hear it from you. I've been watching the last 2 years, but
so I hear it every weekend. I'm out, high rollers paintball, high rollers paintball. There's a motto kind of across the board between forever that high rollers, just the name itself has been around. It is a go, 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 go type of style. I know that's kind of something that I feel that the girls we are picking up. And it is a very in your face type of style of playing. Us girls definitely were working on it. We're trying to, keep up with the boys and being like, high rollers paintball. A 3, Frank Connell was having us hit the 30s and 40s off the break. And so yeah, high rollers paintball, is just go, go, go.
nice. So I've talked to a couple of the guys about 5 pods. How are you feeling it's working out for the
I love
gals?
5 pods. I love the 5. I definitely love the 5 pods. I didn't think I would like it. I was one that I would, want to go out with, 6 or 7 pods, and people are still shoving pods on my back. And, I'm still going through my whole rack by the end of the point. I love the 5 pods because it really does kind of speed up the game. Those lanes drop a lot more often. If you have somebody who, doesn't really know how to value their paint and use it effectively, it can definitely be used to your advantage. If someone's just sitting there, just shooting a lane, roping, they're going to go through, 3 out of 5 pods in the matter of the first minute. So
Yeah.
really learning, and that was even a big thing for me. I was, my first few practices with 5 pods, I was like, well, I'm running out of paint. And now I find myself maybe dropping 1 or 2 pods a point, and they're long points. So yeah, definitely
Mhm.
learning how to value my paint was a big difference. Or, not a struggle, but it was definitely a learning curve. But I like the 5 pods. I think
All
it
right.
speeds it up. It eliminates, someone sitting in the back with 12 pods. Makes it a little bit more exciting to watch. Yeah, I like it.
What's been your favorite memory with the high roller so
Oh
far?
my gosh, there has been so many. I think my favorite memory, and I'll probably get some shade for this. My favorite memory with the high rollers was 2024. And anybody who talks to me definitely knows. When we came out for Vegas, we had just made a bunch of pickups. We picked up, I think, about 4 new girls. 3 of them were from the heroines. And we were out in Vegas having a great time, excited of my new team. And we found out we had to play heroines in Sunday in semifinals. And, I definitely, I give them so much respect. They are, I respect their pain. I respect their guns and their ideas so much. They're a great team. So I was definitely like, well, it's been a great event. It's been a great event. And I remember sitting in front of the TV, we're putting our play together, we're going over all this stuff. And this play from our coach is completely different than what we've been doing all weekend long. And I'm like, this is so crazy. It might just work. And it did. And we beat them. Our first point, we beat them 5 alive. And, beating them 5 alive for my girls that just got taken off the team was definitely a real special moment. And then, beating them in that set, just by 1, we just beat them by 1, but beating them in that set and being able to go play finals our second season, our first event of the second season of our team ever, that was definitely my favorite moment.
All right. Um, so do you got any rituals or anything you like have to do before an event, or like, some guys have like a beanie or something they like wear?
Rituals. Stevie will probably hate me for saying this. I have to shoot my LV. I have a leopard print LV. I gotta shoot it. I that's
Okay.
my thing. Like I don't feel right without that gun. Just the way it feels, the way it shoots. The LV is definitely. I'll come off the field if I wasn't able to shoot it, I'd be like, I need my gun. I need it. But yeah, as far as just straight rituals, I'm not so superstitious in that way. I try to trust my gut, trust what I know. The girls, we do have a little bit of a ritual. We used to put a little stuffed chicken in a circle and pretend to sacrifice the chicken.
I love that.
We would collect something from the team we were going to play, whether we'd run over and grab some paint from them or, grab some water bottles, and we'd put it in the middle of the circle with the chicken and we would stomp on it. So that was our little ritual because we beat the heroines and we did it before we beat the heroines. So it had to have worked. So yeah.
There you go.
So that was
That's
our
awesome.
there's a stuffed chicken somewhere in someone's gear bag.
That's awesome. Man, I don't think I've ever seen video of that, so good on
Yes.
someone for keeping that a
Because we're
secret.
tight and we don't there is our Sunday circle. We don't allow anybody else into it. I know sometimes I feel bad. Some of the amateur girls want to join. Nope, this is for us girls. This is just for us. Sometimes our coach will try to get involved and we're like, no, 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 no. We don't start it unless everybody's there. Yeah. It's a tight thing. I think people get a little nervous because we're stomping on a stuffed chicken, but it
It sounds
works.
hilarious.
It
I love it.
works.
So,
I'll give you a moment.
just love the visual. Yeah, I'm gonna need a second to process that one, and just the fact that you guys sneak something from the other team's
Yes.
pit.
Oh, yes. We will water
That's
bottles.
great.
I love Paige Vassar. She plays on Thunder Valley now. She played with us our first 2 seasons. Logistically, it made sense for her to play in Florida. She lives in Florida. We love her to death. We had to play Tikis, and we found out we were playing Tikis before the event, and we specifically brought clothes she left at Allie's house to sacrifice and
sacrifice?
stomp on in the circle. Yeah, that's how far we go. If you leave things
That's
with us,
awesome.
we keep them.
I love everything about that. You know, we talked about it a little bit, but you had a perspective on the WNXL that I think wasn't uncommon when it started, and you've since come around to it. I myself, I was like, I didn't like the concept when it first came out because I was like, the girls play with the boys already. Like we've had women professionals in the past. You know, they're few and far between. Then after I got to know a couple of the girls in the WNXL and talked to more just women paintball players, like I really saw the benefit of it.
Yeah.
So can you talk to that a
Yeah,
little bit more?
I was actually talking about this today at practice, but so when I first joined, like I said, I was playing with my friends, I was playing with the guys, I was playing with my brother. Was kind of like, why are we going to create diversion in the environment when I've never been told I can't play because I'm a girl. I've never had teammates who I feel haven't trusted me because I'm a girl. I've had, people will sometimes underestimate a girl. I think now, like the past maybe 2 years, I think the guys definitely start to respect the girls because they're like, okay, these girls are kind of coming up and, getting really good. But yeah, I didn't like that we were kind of, or not we, but that the first kind of idea of it was like, we're going to create our own thing so that, we can all play because you guys won't let us play. That's kind of was my first take on it because the guys,
Mhm.
NXL isn't boys only. They never were saying, okay, only the guys can play. This is the male division. This is the women's division. So yeah, I didn't really like the idea of it so much at first. And then, after going down to see the high rollers and doing all that, I definitely changed my view on it because I saw girls play that haven't played paintball before. And when I started first playing tournament paintball, I was playing up at Matt's Outback and I was playing against, the Ironman guys. And well, at the time they were New England Hurricanes, I think. I was playing,
Yeah.
Pat Kraft was up there. Like I was playing against all these guys in the dead of winter and miserable and getting smoked like so early. There was no chance of me to live. And, I stuck with it because, my friends were there, my brother was there. I really loved it, but I think that could deter a lot of girls. And yeah, I think the WNXL definitely, my new look is, it creates a welcoming environment for these girls to kind of just feel comfortable and a little less intimidated playing with other girls.
And on that note, I gotta shout out the Bear Ridge Saints, the Georgia little group there plays as the Barbies down in the Georgia League, and they got 4th in Division 4 this weekend. So
That's
good job, girls.
awesome. Oh God. Are those the same WNXL girls?
Yeah. They make
Yeah,
up the core of the Saints.
they were awesome. They came out this event ready to take it all. Yeah,
They're a fun group of girls.
we went into triple overtime with them.
Yes, yeah. You guys knocked them out the
Yeah,
tournament.
we
It was a nail biter for sure.
yeah, it was
Let's talk about that game a little bit.
Lordy. We could talk about it. So Sunday morning, bright and early, it's dark at the field. I was like, gosh, we got to go play these girls. We spent so much time watching their sets and watching it and watching it. And that's the benefit of, being on the Lone Wolf, all of us being on the Lone Wolf is we have footage of all these sets.
Mm-hmm.
We broke down their game. We, tried to identify, okay, who's the best player? How do they set the field up for this best player to execute what they need them to execute and to, be the best player? And we found all that. And, we had a couple of loose ends, that we should have tied ourselves up with. We should have, just been tighter all around. We let a couple things slip and it put us into overtime. We could have won our overtime point, but we just didn't identify that there wasn't any more bodies left on the field. It just wasn't enough time to hit the buzzer. So yeah, after that we went into 1v1s, and I know that there was some sort of discretion whether we were going to play a 3-man point, or I don't know. It was all confused because the pros now are doing a 3-on-3 for overtime. And so
Yeah.
yeah, there was all this discretion. It was all wild and crazy. And then they were like, we're doing 1-on-1s. So we're like, okay, great. And then my name gets called, and I'm like, oh, great. Oh, great.
No pressure.
Yes. So yeah, I haven't played 1-on-1s in WNXL finals. We haven't actually gone into 1v1s in WNXL.
Hmm.
And that was definitely a really crazy experience. I'm like, I think on the box you could see me take like my 3 deep breaths. We wound up trading, which was good on my part, that I was like, okay, I didn't just lose and we didn't just end our tournament right here. And then we sent
Hmm.
out Caitlin Woodward, and she connected on an unbelievable shot, and it was unbelievable. There's a picture. I like ran on the field and grabbed her, and I was like, "You just saved me." Yeah, those girls, those girls are awesome. They are awesome. A super special moment, just so everyone kind of knows a little bit about the BR, the Bear Ridge Saints. Regardless what you believe in, anything like that. One of their girls came up to us after we were waiting to go to our next point, and she kind of got us all in a huddle, and she was like, I just want to pray for you guys if that's okay. And we're like, absolutely. And she got us all in a huddle, and it was really like a really unbelievable experience that she prayed for our protection through the tournament, our success. You know it really kind of humbled us as to like, wow, okay, these girls, we just beat them. I mean, they played phenomenal. We just beat them, and they're rooting for us, and they're,
Hmm.
asking their higher ups, to protect us and keep us safe. And I just thought that that was really special for her to, take her time and, do that. So they are wonderful girls. They're awesome.
So, how was it having your name called for the 1-on-1 though? What's the?
In game time, I'm like, when I'm in the pits, I'm like, yep. Like I already had pods and I was already masked down. I knew my name was gonna get called. um,
Okay, so you were
yes, we
expecting it.
start almost all of our practices with 1v1s. So I knew, I heard like 4 people be like, Bella, Bella, Bella. I was like, gosh darn it. But I already know I keep a stone face. And, at the time when I was walking onto the net, or walking through the net, I was kind of, like, all right, it's just 1v1s, whatever. I trust myself.
Hmm.
I know this layout. I know how I can get lost. I know my shots. And then when I got on the start box and I heard the countdown, I was like, oh my gosh, our whole entire tournament rests on my decisions right now and what I'm able to do. And it's not me and 4 other girls, it is just me. And I'm like, man, just don't get shot. Just don't get shot. Yeah. It was wild experience. I'm very thankful for it. It was awesome.
So what's been and it's really cool what the girl from the Barbies did to come over and take a
Yeah.
moment for you guys.
Yeah, it
That's
was pretty special.
true competitive right there, right? So what are we looking forward to for not Dover, but for
Cincinnati?
my gosh, the
Yeah.
Midwest one?
Is it I think it's
Cincinnati,
Cincinnati again.
yeah. I think so.
It I mean, I'm definitely excited for Cincinnati. I know the girls are excited for Cincinnati. I know we have watched so much, so much, so much film and really broke down, and I'm excited to really kind of put together all the things that we've taken from this first event, all the mistakes that we've made, and we still got into finals. I think it definitely just kind of lit a fire under everybody and be like, hey, we still got into finals. That means something. Imagine if we
Hmm.
didn't make all these mistakes. We wouldn't have to play 3 matches on Sunday. We can only play 2 matches on Sunday. And, if we are, that top team coming out of prelims, we're going to play a bottom team coming, into semis. It just gives us even better of a
Hmm.
chance. So definitely I know the girls are hopefully collectively looking forward to kind of fixing, grinding out our mistakes and tightening ourselves up and, hopefully back in the finals in Cincinnati.
Yeah. So you mentioned watching tape. Are you guys like doing Zoom meetings and watching tape, or just like collectively taking notes and talking about it in a group chat? Or like, how do you do that when, some of the core is right
Mhm.
there, right? In New York, New Jersey, but some of you guys are spread
Yes.
out.
So we actually our team connection, we use Discord. We use Discord for everything. It keeps ourselves I sound like a Discord ad, but it keeps us very organized. It's very helpful. I suggest any teams try to use Discord, Facebook, Instagram, all those group chats, they stink. Yeah, Discord. So we'll stream because you can like screen share on Discord. So we will all, join a call, and then somebody is kind of in charge of pulling up the YouTube videos and screen sharing them. And then we, go through all of our points and all of our sets.
Okay,
Discord
nice.
is awesome.
So you do it all
Yes, yeah,
together
we do it all on Zoom, or sorry, not Zoom, on Discord. Sorry.
on Discord.
Yeah, we do it all on Discord.
What's you guys have a couple different jerseys now. What's been your favorite?
My favorite jersey, I have to say, is definitely Cincinnati last year, which now is our Sunday jersey. It's all black, and
Okay.
then it's got a sleeve full of, some like suits from cards and circles, and it's got a crazy pop sleeve, but it's all black. That's definitely
Hmm.
been one of my top. That's probably my top. Second top was last year's Tampa jersey. We did the Buccaneers jerseys, the gray, red with the numbers on the front, like big
Yeah.
giant numbers on the front. The other teams knew exactly who we were sending out. But yeah, definitely Tampa last year and Cincinnati, or now our Sunday jersey, are definitely my favorites.
Awesome. What's I don't want to say a team you fear in the WNXL, but what's one that you really respect?
Of course, the heroines. You gotta
Okay.
respect them. They're an awesome team. A lot of those girls are playing higher divisions individually. They are
Hmm.
definitely one team. I think in a way, previously we have earned their respect. Or yes, we have earned their respect in the past. We definitely respect them. We change up our play when we're gonna play them. I know my first ball's gotta be there, because if I shoot and miss, they're gonna dodge the paint. Um, I know if they start losing bodies, they're going to start moving on the field and going all over the place and start pushing issues places. So they definitely are great. I have a couple teams. I can go through them.
Yeah, good. Hey, get out for us.
Another one is Femmes. Femmes, they're just an awesome group. I'm friends with a couple of those girls. They have an awesome environment, an awesome culture over there. I definitely respect their game for sure. Those girls are not afraid to, be in your face, be on your side of the field, come through and, shoot you and take two of your friends with you. They are, those girls are tough, have a great, great middle game, really, really great middle game. And their attackers are super, super aggressive. They are not afraid to come onto our side. So they are definitely one team that, myself, when I'm going to go play, I'm like, okay, I gotta be at my sharpest.
Prepare for the
Yes,
aggression.
yes, I know. Even this layout, I'm like, I know the girl's in the 50 snake, we kill her. And my coach was like, if there's one there and you kill her, there's going to be another one. And I'm like sitting there and I'm like telling myself, there's going to be another one. And we wound up trading and she was there. And I was like, yep, she's there. She did it. So, it's definitely the way to play. But yeah, those are definitely my two teams that when we go to play, I'm like, oh man, this is going to be tough.
Nice. Well, what do you think is how would you recruit other women to come and play paintball just in general? Like, what would you tell them?
I mean, there's nothing like it. You get your frustrations out from the week. If you have a boyfriend that plays or doesn't play, you guys go play together, you're mad at him, you can, shoot him a whole bunch of times. But I definitely, to get somebody to play, I would definitely say, you don't have to be physically fit to play. And you can play with and against physically fit people. And I mean, they have an advantage for sure, being, fast, being nimble, being flexible, being, whatever. But the equalizer is the gun. And that's kind of always my approach. I'm like, don't worry who you're playing. Who cares if you could fast or if, if you're fast, if you can, whatever. The equalizer is the gun. So I definitely, let them know. It definitely gets a lot of frustrations out. Makes you feel pretty good about yourself too. And that equalizer is there. So,
Yeah, it's hard to outrun a
yes, it
paintball.
is hard to outrun a paintball. Yes.
If you aren't athletic, you can definitely learn to aim
Yeah.
and
Yep.
take those other
Yeah.
players out. What's your favorite drill and then your least favorite drill?
Lordy. Actually, so new favorite drill that we actually did today at practice. Never done it before. I did it with enemy. We did 5-on-5 paintball, full field, and one person didn't have a gun. They had to stuff their gun under the bunker. Like as the point started, they just had to shove it under the bunker. And
Okay.
each team, and one player on each team did that. And we had to find out which player didn't have the gun, which, is it's hard when you got 4 other people shooting at you. You're like, which one doesn't have a gun? And there's definitely different ways that you can kind of make it look like you have a gun. You can, do your head checks and, you can even bump bunkers. And if you don't see it, whatever. And you won the point by either identifying that person was, didn't have the gun, or by shooting the person who didn't have the gun. And I was like, at the beginning of it, I was like, this is so stupid. I was like, this is dumb. I'm not having fun. Like, this is dumb. But then as we kept playing, I learned the benefit of it was that with that whole chaotic drill going on, you're still playing a point. You're still playing a 5-on-5 full field point. So it kind of made me, and the guys who I was playing with, realize that, we can have an objective, but we also still have to play the point. So like, don't tunnel on this one thing, or while you're playing the point, still remember there is an objective. So, if I'm getting into the 50 snake and I'm battling with the guy in front of me, I got to be like, wait, the way I win this is by finding out who has the gun. So let me start looking inside. Let me start talking to my teammates more. That was definitely a drill I didn't think I would like. And then today we did that. And I was like, wow, this is actually very beneficial. I saw the difference from when we first did it to when we stopped practice. Yeah, that was definitely, I was like, okay, this is different. It wasn't your typical 2-on-2s. And yeah. So it was my least favorite drill. There's a lot. There is a lot. I don't know if you have ever heard of like a postman drill. So
No, what's
postman
that?
drill is one body is out. You're snapping against each other, but one body is out. One
When one
stays out,
stays
and
out.
they're like actively shooting, and you have to
Yeah.
come out. I mean, I have scars on my fingers from trying to get dominance on somebody who knows where I'm coming out and what I'm doing. I would say that's one of my favorites.
Yeah, that one can get
Oh yeah.
brutal. Yeah, we used to do that.
Yeah.
So, the way we did it was you just had to stay out, but you fuck. Okay, so we were talking postman drill,
Yep.
and I was saying we used to do it, but the guy who was out could move up and down as long as he stayed out. Is that how you guys do it, or does the guy out have to just stay out?
I don't think that was ever implemented. I think, it was kind of, I mean, I don't know if that was ever implemented. I do like that little kind of twist to it, that the player who's out can kind of move up and down and use their whole bunker.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, no, I think that guy was just right in that same spot every time.
Just kind of snapping target. Great.
Just, yep, he's there. We know. Yep, in my fingers.
Well, Bella, this has been fun. I don't think I've laughed this much in an interview in a while, so thank you.
Awesome. Yay.
Well, while we take it out though, and shout out who you want to shout out, and then we'll move on.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, huge shout out to, Allie and Adrian over at the High Rollers for, just having an awesome program and, letting me be a part of it, and It's been a huge part of my life. I've met so many people, built so many friendships, relationships, and yeah, so shout out to them, and all the girls on High Rollers. And then, another huge shout out, Diana. They, make awesome gear for us. They always get our gear to us. Anything, we really ask. They, make awesome designs for us, even though we're like red and black. They're awesome. Elevate, one of our new sponsors, this season, they do our tanks and regs. They've been awesome. Josh over there has been super awesome. And willing to work with us on everything. I walked into the tent and was like, I need a tank, and he was like, here you go. So yeah, he's awesome. And then obviously JT and PE have been great for us as well.
Nice. Well, thank you again for coming on the show. We got to hang out just for a little bit. Everyone else, we'll see you next time on the Planet Paintball Podcast.
Thanks for tuning in to the Planet Paintball Podcast. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. Whether you're out there grinding in the divisional pits or chasing dreams on the pro stage, remember, it's all about the passion, the hustle, and the love for the sport. Until next time, keep grinding, keep growing, and we'll see you back here on the Planet Paintball Podcast